Your mind is a storyteller. All day long, it is speaking to you about who you are, what things mean, and what might happen next. Most of the time, we don't even realize it's happening. The thoughts just float in and out, and we accept them like they are facts. But here's the truth most people never get taught. Your mind is not always telling you the truth. It is telling you a story based on old experiences, worries, assumptions, and fear. And if you don't learn to notice that story, the story starts to run your life. Think about this for a second. Have you ever been perfectly fine, and then one small thing goes wrong, and suddenly your brain starts building a whole disaster? One tiny comment from someone, and your mind jumps to, "They don't respect me." One mistake at work, and your mind jumps to, "I'm not good enough." A slow reply to a message, and your mind writes a movie where you're being ignored or rejected. None of these things are guaranteed to be true, but the mind fills in the blanks with something that feels threatening, because it wants to keep you safe. That's how the survival part of the brain works. It thinks anxiety is protection, so the first step is recognizing the voice. The moment you hear a thought that stings, that scares you, that makes you shrink instead of stand, pause and ask, is this a fact or just a story? Most of the pain we feel doesn't come from what's actually happening. It comes from what we think is happening. When you start catching the stories, you get back your power. You stop letting your thoughts drag you around like a leaf in the wind. You become the one holding the steering wheel, and that doesn't mean forcing yourself to think positive all the time. That's not realistic. What it means is choosing the meaning you attach to things. For example, if someone doesn't message you back, your mind might say, "You're not important." But you can rewrite that story. "I don't know what's going on for them. I'll wait for information instead of inventing it." If you don't do well at something the first time, your mind might say, "You're not capable." Rewrite it. "I'm learning, and this is part of the process." If a door closes, your mind might say, "This was your only chance." Rewrite it. "If this didn't work, there is something better being aligned." The key is not to argue with your thoughts. You don't have to fight them. You just question them like a calm, steady judge. No emotion, no panic. Just curiosity. Your mind says something. You ask, "Is that the only possible explanation?" Most of the time, it's not. And here is where the shift happens. You start responding to life instead of reacting to the story your mind is making about life. This is how a positive mental attitude begins, not from pretending everything is perfect, but from choosing the narrative that strengthens you instead of the one that breaks you. You are the narrator, you are the editor, you get to decide what the moment means. When you learn to control the narrative, life stops feeling like something that happens to you and starts feeling like something you are actively shaping. And that is where confidence grows, not loud confidence, not showy confidence, the quiet kind, the unshakable kind, the kind that comes from knowing that even when your mind speaks fear, you have the final word. Most people don't realize how fast their reactions are shaping their life. Something happens, and before you even think, you're already upset, already stressed, already frustrated, already saying things you didn't mean. It's like your emotions outrun your clarity, and afterward, when things calm down, you look back and think, "I could have handled that better." We've all been there. But developing a strong, steady mindset requires learning how to pause long enough to choose your response instead of letting your reaction lead the moment. A reaction is instant. It's a knee jerk. It comes from old habits, old wounds, old patterns. It comes from fear, ego, and survival mode. It's like your mind says, "Something is happening. Hurry, defend, protect, prove." And the moment you let that impulse take over, the situation starts controlling you instead of the other way around. But a response is deliberate, it's chosen, it's guided by who you want to be, not how you happen to feel? And the difference between reacting and responding is one thing: the pause. That pause is the most powerful skill you can develop. It's the breath before the words, the moment of stillness before the decision, the mental step back that says, "I'm in control here." Because your emotions are real, but they are not always reliable. They are loud, not always wise. Feelings can be like storms, strong, sudden, and temporary. And if you make decisions in the middle of the storm, chances are you're not going to like the outcome. Think about a time when someone said something that felt disrespectful. Your reaction might be to snap, shut down, or match their tone. But if you pause, if you give yourself just a few seconds before responding, something incredible happens. Space opens. In that space, you can ask yourself, what is actually happening here? What outcome do I want? Who do I want to be in this moment? Not who your anger wants you to be. Not who your pride wants you to be. Who you want to be. That is where emotional strength is born. Responding instead of reacting doesn't mean you're quiet. It doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you are intentional. It means your power is coming from clarity, not chaos. Picture someone trying to provoke you. If you react, they control you. Your mood shifts because of what they did. But if you respond calmly, you control the atmosphere. You keep your power. You decide the tone. That's leadership. That's growth. That's emotional maturity. The pause is your armor. Here's something else. You don't have to respond right away. You're allowed to say, "Give me a second. Let me think about that. I'll respond when I'm ready." You are not obligated to match anyone else's urgency. Pressure is not authority. Calm is. And the more you practice responding, the more natural it becomes. You start understanding that every moment is not a fight. Not every comment requires a comeback. Not every situation needs your emotional energy. Some things simply are not worth your peace. There is a version of you who is unshakable, composed, and grounded. A version of you who knows how to stay steady even when circumstances are loud. That version of you is not created in big, dramatic moments. It's built in small choices, the choice to pause, the choice to think, the choice to act with intention. Responding over reacting is how you step out of survival and into strength. It's how you stop being controlled by everything around you and start being guided by everything within you. That pause is your power. Use it. Your attitude is shaped by what you allow around you. Even the strongest mindset can get worn down if the environment is heavy, loud, draining, or filled with negativity. We like to think we're independent, that we make our own choices, that we stand on our own. But the truth is, we absorb more than we realize. The people you talk to, the energy you sit in, the conversations you entertain, the content you consume, the places you spend your time, all of that becomes part of your inner world. And if you don't pay attention to your environment starts shaping you without your permission. You've probably heard the saying, you become like the people you spend the most time with. It's not just some cute quote. It's how the brain works. We mirror, we pick up tone, we pick up belief systems, we pick up what feels normal. If complaining is normal in a group, you start complaining more. If blaming life is normal, you start blaming life too. If everyone around you is comfortable staying the same, your motivation to grow gets quieter. But here's the good news. The opposite is just as powerful. If you surround yourself with people who take responsibility for their lives, you'll start doing the same. If you're around people who encourage growth, you'll feel inspired to grow. If positivity is normal in your space, positivity becomes natural in your mind. This doesn't mean you need perfect people around you. Nobody is perfect. It means paying attention to the direction of the people in your life. Are they trying? Are they learning? Are they moving somewhere better? or are they staying stuck and pulling others into the same stuckness with them? Sometimes the most draining environments are quiet ones. The friend who always talks in defeat. The relative who always expects the worst. The coworker who always gossips and complains. You might tell yourself, I can handle it. But over time, these voices get in your head. They start sounding like your own thoughts. Your mind becomes what it hears repeatedly. So choosing your circle is not about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone. It's about protecting your mental climate so you can grow without constantly fighting against negativity. And sometimes the environment you need to change isn't people. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's the music you listen to, the movies you watch, the posts you scroll past, the conversations you replay in your head. Sometimes the most powerful shift you can make is simply reducing noise. You don't have to announce who you're stepping away from. You don't have to explain your growth. You don't even have to have a dramatic goodbye. Just quietly start choosing differently. Less time with people who drain you. More time with people who lift you. Less time absorbing chaos. More time building peace. If you don't have strong people around you right now, create distance from the draining ones first. Your environment doesn't have to be full of inspirational people for you to start changing. It just needs to stop being loud with negativity. Once there's space, the right connections will come, and remember this. You teach people how to treat your peace by how you protect it. If you treat your mental space as valuable, others will learn to respect it. If you treat your energy like it doesn't matter, others will take more than they should. Your circle is your emotional echo. It reflects back to you who you are becoming. So choose people who make you want to stand taller, not shrink smaller. Choose conversations that make you think bigger, not feel worse. Choose environments that feel like growth, even if growth is slow. Because the company you keep is not just who you're around, it's who you are becoming. Gratitude gets talked about like it's something soft or simple. Like it's just writing a list of what you're thankful for, and then everything magically feels better. But real gratitude is deeper than that. It's not a feeling you wait to show up. It's a discipline, a training, a way of directing your mind toward what is strong in your life, instead of letting it obsess over what is missing or broken. Your brain is naturally built to look for problems. That's survival mode. It's scanning for what might go wrong, what could be dangerous, what needs fixing. And that's useful sometimes, but if you let your mind run like that all the time, it becomes impossible to feel joy, impossible to see progress, impossible to feel safe in your own life. Everything starts to look like a threat or a burden. This is where gratitude steps in as a counterweight. Gratitude says, I see what's hard, but I also see what's helping me through it. I see what I don't have, but I also recognize what I do have. I see the struggle, but I also see the strength. Notice something. Gratitude doesn't deny the difficulty. It doesn't pretend life is perfect. It simply refuses to let the difficulty be the only thing you pay attention to. For example, maybe you're tired, overworked, trying your best but not where you want to be yet. Your mind can easily say, I'm not enough, or nothing is changing. But gratitude says, I'm still here, I'm still showing up, I'm still learning. That shift doesn't erase the struggle, it gives you fuel to keep going. Real gratitude is active, it's intentional, you choose it, especially when it's not easy. Think about waking up in the morning. You have two options. One, immediately stress. Your mind jumps to the problems, the tasks, the deadlines, the frustrations. And the whole day starts heavy. Or two, before anything else, you recognize something steady, something true, something working, It could be your health, your breath, the roof over your head, the fact that life has given you another day of chances. That tiny recognition changes the tone of the day. It doesn't solve every problem, but it changes your posture toward it. Gratitude is also powerful because it breaks comparison. Comparison drains your joy by making you focus on what someone else has that you don't. It convinces you you're behind, lacking, or failing. But when you practice gratitude, you stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline. You begin to see what is yours, not what is missing. You start realizing that there are things you once prayed for that you have now. Things you used to dream about that are part of your everyday life. But if you never slow down to acknowledge them, they go unnoticed. Gratitude keeps you from overlooking your own growth. And here's something important. Gratitude can be quiet. You don't have to shout it or post it or show it. It can be as simple as taking one deep breath and saying to yourself, I am grateful for this moment, even if the moment is imperfect. Even if it's heavy, you train your mind to recognize what is present instead of only what is missing. This practice changes your emotional resilience. It changes how quickly you bounce back after disappointment. It changes how deeply you handle stress. It gives your mind something steady to stand on when life shakes. Gratitude is not just something you feel. It's something you do on purpose, especially on the days when it feels hardest. That's when it matters most. That's when it builds strength. That's when it transforms your mindset from fragile to unbreakable. Your mind moves toward whatever picture you hold in front of it. It doesn't matter whether that picture is success or failure, confidence or fear, breakthrough or collapse. The mind will walk in the direction of the image you repeat. And the problem is, most people are rehearsing the worst long before anything has even happened. They're imagining themselves failing, being judged, being embarrassed, being overlooked. They replay these outcomes so often that their body starts responding like they're already real. Heart racing, confidence shrinking, energy draining, all before the situation even arrives. This is why rehearsing the win matters. Not for ego, not for hype, not for pretending life is easy, but because your brain uses imagination as instructions. If you picture yourself falling apart under pressure, your body prepares to collapse. If you picture yourself staying composed, your body prepares to steady itself. Your mind writes the script and your emotions follow the direction. Think about athletes. They practice physically, yes. But the most successful ones also practice mentally. They don't just train their bodies, they train their belief. They see the success before it shows up. They feel it, walk through it, imagine the details. They build familiarity with winning in their mind first, so that when the moment comes in real life, their mind says, we've been here before, we know what to do. You can do the same thing. Before a conversation that matters, before a challenge, before a new step, before a decision that scares you. Pause and rehearse the outcome you want, not in a forced or exaggerated way, just steady and clear. See yourself grounded, see yourself patient, see yourself confident, see yourself capable, and pay attention. This is not about imagining a perfect life. Life won't be perfect, challenges will still show up, but rehearsing the win means rehearsing the version of you that shows up strong. The version of you who doesn't break as easily, who doesn't fold when pressure rises, who doesn't run from discomfort. The version of you who is steady in the storm. You are not pretending the storm isn't there. You are practicing the strength you will bring into it. Your mind needs a target. If you don't give it one, it will choose one for you, usually the worst case scenario, because fear talks loud. Fear paints dramatic pictures, but you get to choose which image you feed. Every time your mind tries to show you a failure script, you can switch the channel. Not by arguing with fear, not by forcing positive thinking, but by calmly saying, "This is not the picture I'm choosing." Then replace it with the one that strengthens you. If you're walking into a room, picture yourself walking in with your shoulders relaxed and your breathing slow. If you're starting something new, picture yourself learning, improving, adjusting, growing, not expecting perfection on day one. If you're facing something painful, picture yourself handling it with patience instead of collapse. These small mental rehearsals shape real-world behavior. Your confidence grows not because everything becomes easier, but because you start recognizing that you can handle what comes. And when life hits you, because it will, you won't just react, you'll navigate, you'll adapt, you'll adjust. You'll keep your center. Rehearsing the win doesn't mean you always win. It means you prepare yourself to stay whole, stay grounded, stay in motion. Your mind is always rehearsing something, so rehearse what strengthens you. Rehearse what aligns with who you want to be. Rehearse the win, not because success is guaranteed, but because your growth is.